Intermittent fasting does not fail because your fasting window is too short. It does not fail because you ate one wrong meal. And it does not fail because you lack discipline. For most people, fasting fails because insulin never truly comes down. And until insulin comes down, fat loss stays locked, no matter how long you fast. Insulin is not a villain. It is a survival hormone. Its job is to move nutrients out of the bloodstream and into cells so the body can function and stay alive. But insulin also acts as a gatekeeper. When insulin is elevated, fat cannot be released from storage. When insulin is low, fat becomes accessible and usable for energy. This rule applies to every human being, men and women alike.
What most people misunderstand is what actually raises insulin. Insulin does not respond only to sugar. It responds to stress signals coming from the brain. Poor sleep raises insulin. Chronic calorie restriction raises insulin. Excess caffeine raises insulin. Psychological stress raises insulin. This is why two people can fast the same number of hours and experience completely different outcomes. Now, let's clearly separate male and female physiology, because this is where fasting advice breaks down. Men operate on a 24-hour hormonal rhythm. Their primary hormone, testosterone, pulses throughout the day and resets every morning. This daily reset gives men metabolic flexibility. When a man fasts, insulin usually drops in a predictable way. Fat becomes available. Energy stabilizes. Hunger stays controlled. Even if cortisol rises temporarily, testosterone buffers the stress response. This is why many men can fast every day, drink coffee early, train hard, push through stress, and still lose fat. Their biology tolerates it.
Women do not reset hormonally every morning. Women operate on a 28 to 30-day hormonal cycle, not a daily one. Across that cycle, insulin sensitivity changes, cortisol tolerance changes, glucose needs change, stress perception changes. This means insulin behavior in women is context-dependent. A woman can follow a textbook fasting protocol and still remain in a fat-locked state, not because she ate, but because her body perceives stress. When the female body perceives stress, it sends one dominant message: preserve energy. That message keeps insulin elevated. This is the missing explanation behind why fasting works for a while and then suddenly stops working for women. A woman can fast for 14 or 16 hours, drink only water and coffee, and still not burn fat, because insulin never dropped. Cortisol stayed high. Stress and insulin are biologically linked. When cortisol rises, blood glucose rises. When blood glucose rises, insulin follows. This means fat burning can shut down without eating a single calorie. This is also why fasting longer often makes the problem worse. When fat loss stalls, most people respond by forcing harder, skipping more meals, cutting calories further, increasing caffeine, ignoring fatigue. This creates a feedback loop. Stress increases. Insulin stays elevated. Fat loss shuts down completely.
Insulin resistance is not always obesity. It can look like belly fat that never moves, energy crashes during fasts, strong evening cravings, brain fog, sleep that never feels restorative. In women, insulin resistance often shows up as missed or irregular periods, hair shedding, anxiety, water retention. In men, it often shows up as visceral fat, low energy, difficulty leaning out. Different symptoms, same gatekeeper. A man wakes up, skips breakfast, drinks coffee, works through the morning, eats at noon, and loses fat. A woman wakes up, skips breakfast, drinks coffee, rushes through stress, ignores hunger, eats at noon, and feels shaky, anxious, and stalled. Same behavior, completely different internal response. For her body, insulin never fully came down because stress stayed high. This does not mean fasting is wrong. It means fasting must be matched to biology.
The goal is not to force insulin down. The goal is to remove the signals that keep insulin elevated. First, the nervous system must feel safe. If the body does not feel safe, insulin will not drop. Safety comes from adequate sleep, lower morning stress, not stacking fasting on top of exhaustion. Second, fasting must align with hormonal timing. Men thrive on consistency. Women thrive on cycling. There are phases where insulin sensitivity is naturally higher, and phases where forcing fasting backfires. Third, what you eat during the eating window matters. Ultra-processed foods keep insulin elevated long after eating stops, even during a fast. This is why eating less does not always fix the problem. Insulin remembers. Hunger becomes calm instead of urgent. Energy becomes steady instead of jittery. And fasting stops feeling like a battle.
In the next video, we will break down cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps insulin elevated even during fasting. You'll learn how to lower cortisol without fasting longer, without eating less, and without burning your body out. Once cortisol is controlled, insulin drops naturally, and fasting finally works with your hormones, not against them.